Hey, Red Bearded Brews here. I'm kind of making a post-video, pre-video, because I noticed halfway through my videos today that I compiled to make this longer video that I was filming in vertical video format. So I'm doing this in advance to apologize and to prepare you for the horrendous next two clips. I didn't just get rid of them all together and just start where I started off, because I think there's some important sort of beginner information there, or not just necessarily beginner, but information for people interested in brewing anyway, and how sort of my setup works and many electric setups or Brutus setups work. Yeah, so today's brew day was a traditional Bock brew day. I called it CockBlockBock because I name my beers that sort of name. Basically what I've got going on here is my mash is sitting at 68 degrees, which there it says 67, and then I'm just starting my sparge, so get out of there, you bastard. Just filling up 38 liters, which we're almost at. There's the sight glass. 38 liters of 75 degree water, and the mash is done any time now, so I'm just going to basically heat this water, and sorry about that. I'm going to heat the water, and then once it gets up to 75 on my left pit there, that is my hot liquor tank side, mash tun side, and boil kettle side. But once that gets up to temp, I will drain this. This is my mash. Sorry about the lighting. But yeah, so here I'm mashing. This is my Bock. See it coming out of my pump here. The way it works is I have a false bottom in the bottom of this tank, and then it comes out through the valve here, through the pump, through the valve, down through this hose, and then this is called a rims tube, which is recirculating infusion mash system, and there's a heater element in there. You can see right there is where it fits into the pipe, and it's controlled by this controller here, and it just flashes on and off to keep it at 67 degrees Celsius, and then it comes back out of the hose and back inside, so it's constantly getting recirculated and filtered at the right temperature. And the grains that are in here, they stay at about this level. They don't go through the false bottom because they'd kind of burn and scorch on the element. But that is sort of the important step in brewing. That's when all of the enzymes that are in the grain, in the malted grain, they convert all of the starches that are in your grain into the sugars that you're looking for, depending on you know, what temperature you have it at and how long, and etc. And so yeah, once that 48 degrees gets up to 75, I'll take this hose, put it into here. This is my boil kettle, and you can see there's my heater element covered in calcium, and then once that's empty, I'll take all the water out of here, that 38 liters I just filled up, and sort of rinse these grains out with that water, and then I'll put all of that back in here. So that'll get me up to about maybe 14 gallons, 14 and a half gallons, and yeah, that 14 and a half gallons, I'm going to boil it for 75 minutes, and then it'll get down to about 11 or so. And about 1 gallon, I sort of calculate, is going to be junk. It's called true. Basically, it's proteins that come out in your hot break. When it gets boiling, a lot of proteins sort of crash out of solution, and they end up depositing in the bottom. And you get hop bits that fall through my hop strainer, and other sort of goo. And I recirculate that, and that stays in the bottom, but I'll show you that when I get there. So I've, it's kind of dark in there, but it's sparged. That's all just grain now. All the delicious, basically malt tea is in here now. I got a little less than I expected. I was looking for about 14. I got about 13 gallons there. That's just fine. It just means that I'll probably have a slightly stronger beer. The beer was supposed to be, I think, 7.2%, so I might be 7.5 or something like that. That's okay. Just means you get drunker more. Yeah, so as you can see here, you get that nice little froth on top, and it's starting to move a little because it's up to about 85 degrees Celsius or so. As this gets right up to 100, it's going to start boiling. Like, it looks like it's boiling over like a pot of rice or pasta or something like that. That's those proteins I was talking about, that hot break. When that happens, if I don't suck, I'll get it on video for you. If I do suck, it's because it boiled over and I have to clean up and I don't have time to make a video of it. So anyways, I gotta go dump all those grains that I have there out for the chickens to eat, and clean out the mash tun because that stuff stinks really bad, really chicken shit. Get it? So I'm just finishing up my vertical / horizontal video. I missed the hot break, but I've got the boil almost finished here. I got a light on so you can actually see what's going on. I got this is my hop strainer bag. It's filled with a lot of hops. I got 600. What was it again? Oh, cocksucker. Ha ha ha, you guys just watched the epic fail on my brew day. That's pretty funny. It would have been funnier if my phone fell in there, but not really. There, hold on. Got a little steamy there. But yeah, I got 0.66 ounces of Magnum. I have I put that in at 75 minutes. Then I have 1 ounce of homegrown Hallertau at 45 minutes, and 1 more ounce of homegrown Hallertau at 30 minutes. I have my recert going on here. So what happens is, way back there, if you can see it, that's my it's called a counterflow chiller. It's used to bring the hot wort, as this is called wort, down to yeast pitching temperatures, which is the temperature that you want to add your yeast at. You don't want to throw your yeast in when it's almost boiling, because, well, it'll kill your yeast. And if it takes a long time to get down to the correct temperatures, you can get a lot of infections, like the one I had 2 weeks ago. And so you run it through this chiller. I'll show you how that works when it's running. But you have to sanitize the chiller first. So what I do is I run my pump, leaving the boil kettle. So this is at 100 degrees. Pumps through the chiller, out, and then back into here. So it gets the whole system up to 100 degrees and sanitizes everything. And then to boot, I have the system sort of circulating everything. It's called a whirlpool. And what that does is when I start draining the wort, you end up with a nice cone of that trube stuff I was talking about at the bottom, and it makes it sort of easier to clean up, and it makes it so that my pickup tube on the pump actually can get right to the bottom without sucking up much of that crap. And yeah, there is my fermenter. I'm doing a Bock, so normally I use this bad boy here. It's got some bitter left in it still, I think 5 gallons of bitter. I'm just seeing if 2 weeks in primary and then keg will taste different than a month in primary straight to keg. So Just doing a little experiment. But because this is a Bock, which is a lager, you don't ferment it at sort of room temperatures. You got to go basically fridge temperatures. So I put it in this guy, and then it'll go into my fridge. I have it set at 12 degrees Celsius. I'll do primary for probably about 10 days at that temperature, and then I'll bump it up to about 17 degrees for a couple days. So basically unplug the fridge, and then it's called a diacetyl rest. It gets rid of that sort of crappy diacetyl taste that nobody likes. And then what I'll do is I'll ramp the temperature down for secondary, which is like 5 degrees. I'll probably do it at around 5 because I'm using some not that great yeast. Using a mix of Mori Brew's 497 and S23. So it's basically two of the crappiest lager yeast put together. Hopefully the sum of its parts are better than the individual parts or whatever. But yeah, anyways, I'll get you later. Bye. So I'm gonna do one last video, and if you're wondering, that's not a booger on my nose. I noticed that I'm sweating a lot. I tend to do that when there's a lot of steam around. Actually, I tend to do that all the time. But I have my chiller running right now. I'm basically just about done, other than about 10 more minutes of cleanup. So I'll show you how that works, and that'll be it. So, as I said, this is my counterflow chiller, and the way it works is I have this black hose, which is radiator hose from the auto parts store. I think it's 50 feet. I forget now. Probably 50 feet. That sounds about right. And inside of it is 3/8 inch copper. You can see the skinny copper there on the end, and it's running all the way throughout there. Then I have some little fittings here. So basically what it does is the hot wort that is coming out of there goes through the pump, through the hose, and then into this copper, and it runs through the copper that runs all the way through this big spiral, and then out there. It goes out that hose, and then it goes into here where it's filling up my primary fermenter, so that I don't have to lift it into there. I'm just filling it up while it's in the fridge. And then to chill it, I have this water jacket, which is the 1/2 inch copper here. And that just kind of, I have a clamp under there that clamps the hose to the copper. And I have this cold water running from my sink into this outer water jacket. And then out here through this long hose. And then normally if I'm doing a load of whites, I fill up my washing machine because this water's hot as balls. But right now I'm not, so I'm just putting it in there. And that's basically how it works. The water coming out here is hot. The beer coming out here is cold. Because my well is cold. So that's how these things work. Plate chillers work similarly. Similar sort of idea, but they're a lot smaller. They cost more. And they're kind of a pain in the ass to clean and sanitize and shit. So I like this better. But that's my brew day. As you can see, the beer's going down. It's no longer boiling. And yeah, sometime in there we'll start to see that ladle that I lost. But that's what it's like to brew with me. And if you enjoyed it, sorry about the vertical at the beginning. Sorry about the sweat. That's what's a greasy brew day here.